On SABC News, coming to you live from Johannesburg. It's just gone after 10 p.m. Central African time. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Simpiwe Ngwane. Good evening.
And I'm Lulu Gabu. Thank you so much for joining us. And now, coming up on the show, we've got Zimbabwe, we've got the DRC. There's so much happening at this point in time. And watching the developments in Zimbabwe.
Absolutely.
It's something that we spoke about last week, and it is a developing story. And every single day, there seems to be something new. And it's definitely something to watch.
Absolutely. And speaking of Zimbabwe, that country's presidential inauguration, which is due to be held on Sunday, has been postponed after the opposition MDC alliance launched a court bid to overturn last week's election results. The results, as announced, gave a narrow victory to incumbent President Emmerson Mnangagwa. The MDC maintains that the outcome was rigged and filed a legal challenge at Zimbabwe's Constitutional Court shortly before the deadline this afternoon. Justice Minister Ziambi says the inauguration has been suspended pending the determination of the Constitutional Court. Well, under the Constitution, a losing presidential candidate has 7 days to challenge the results from the time a winner is declared. The Constitutional Court must rule within 14 days. The MDC alleges fraud and vote rigging despite an endorsement by SADC observers. Meanwhile, SABC's foreign editor Sophie Mukwena spoke to MDC's legal representatives outside court.
We're quite confident, but it is not for us to make a determination. Our role is to argue the matter, and we're more than ready to do so.
When are you back in court?
We will be in court within the coming 14 days. We'll argue the matter and have it determined.
Have you sought the legal assistance from the South African Senior Counsel Dalimpofu and Ngogaitu?
Yes, as we indicated, we have a very strong legal team. We have some legal minds from South Africa. My name Sek, surname Sek, is that what it is called? Dalimpofu is on board. Tembega. Toby is on board. A lot of other South African senior counsel are on board on the issue.
But how are you going to ensure that they have a required permit to come and argue?
No, you leave that to us. The role that they are going to play is a role that is clearly circumscribed. Whatever it is that we want them to do, they will ultimately do.
Will they be in the country?
Well, you'll see them when they come.
And then finally, what are your arguments in terms of what you have presented to court?
Well, in broad, we have gone procedural number one. We've shown that the proper procedure, in our view, was not adhered to in the conduct of this election, the announcement of the result and the concomitant declaration. We've gone mathematical. We've shown that there was a lot of number crunching, figure fudging, and the like. We have also looked at the electoral environment and how it's contributed to what we call a non-election which took place.
Is your case based on the presidential results or even parliamentary?
Well, in terms of evidence, you look at everything. There are certain discrepancies which are notable between the presidential tally and the parliamentary tally, and so that is one of the issues that is going to arise surely, and the court expects an explanation once those kinds of allegations are raised. They're quite serious. They're quite serious. You see certain things on our papers which will exercise your mind. I defended Operation Restore Legacy both in court and on national television. I defended it on the basis that was, in my view, sustainable at law. And after I defended that operation, nobody came to me and said, Savan, you've become a politician because you've defended Operation Restore Legacy. Now, those same people, now that I'm defending Chamisa, have turned around and are now saying I've become a politician because I'm defending Chamisa. The problem that I have with Zimbabweans is that they want to choose who my clients are. And I will not let anyone do that. And when they try to threaten me, when they try to harass me, they can only strengthen my resolve. I never want to back down. I've never backed down from any challenge, and I will not do so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa's governing ZANU-PF party says it's confident that opposition leader Nelson Chamisa has absolutely no case after he challenged last week's election results in court.
ZANU-PF Legal Secretary Paul Mangwana says they have sufficient legal minds to meet the MDC squarely in court.
For all I know is that we have not yet been served with those papers. Yes, I've checked with the registrar of the court, and they've confirmed that they received papers from the MDC. But in terms of our laws, they must serve all the respondents. And my president had not been served at the time I'm speaking to you. So yes, that is the position.
The intention was to have the inauguration on Sunday. What's going to happen now?
Well, in terms of the Constitution, once an application challenging the result of the election is filed with the court, everything stops until the Constitutional Court has dealt with the matter and completed it.
In terms of the court processes, what's going to happen now?
If we are served with the papers, we will then respond, and then the Constitutional Court will then hear arguments within the next 10 days.
MDC is confident that they are going to win the case.
We are quite confident that they have no best